I think it's difficult to have in week 6, kids thinking like, listen, man, we're gonna blow these guys out, and coach telling them that, and then the
The
next
guys know
week,
that anyway, Des.
no,
Des, the guys
coaches
know that
never
anyway. Yes,
say
they
that.
do. No,
Coaches
coaches don't say
coaches do
that, but
not.
players know. Players know. And let me be honest, and we're going to get into this as we get closer to the season. As weak as those first 3 games are for Michigan, we're splitting halves with JJ and K. We're going to see what they made of. If you want to have a true competition, here's what you do. The first 3 games of the year, you go 50-50, and you let it rip. And whoever plays the best,
I
and that,
probably wouldn't even go 50-50. Honestly, I'd probably go two drives, two drives. Maybe
not
do like
stupid. Don't do
a
that again. No, we're not doing that again,
well,
Des.
no,
We're
but I
not
was
doing
gonna
the whole.
say then just keep the hot hand. Whoever's playing the best at that
No,
point, I'm just
no,
rolling with
no.
that.
Oh
Well, I
my
mean, you
God, you're
say that,
frustrating
but
me.
then okay, we're gonna split halves. Well, what if Cade is 25 of
Too bad.
25 for
Too bad.
350 yards? All
Too
right,
bad.
and
Moving
then
on. Because if that's
even
the
on the
truth,
flip
the
side,
game's
what
a
if?
blowout anyway. If that's the truth, the game's a blowout anyway.
Well,
We
then
know
what does
this
it matter how often we sub them if it's gonna be a blowout and it doesn't really matter?
because if it look, I get you back to it. The point is that that's if people want to know my argument as we close to the season, the first 3 weeks of the year, we're going 50-50. That's how bad these 3 teams are. You can combine Hawaii, Connecticut, and I'm drawing a blank on the third one, but they suck too.
But
Who's the
think
third
about
one?
this though. So
Oh, I don't know.
potentially what you're doing is are you talking having the ones in the whole time and you're just subbing your QB? Because you got to think about that too,
No,
right? What if you're
no,
up
no. We're
35 to
suck.
0 at the half? So so is JJ gonna have to play with the twos or Cade gonna have to play with twos? Because for you obviously don't want your ones playing in a 42 to nothing game in the
No,
fourth
you don't.
quarter.
No, we're doing mass subs out here. That's what we're doing. We're doing mass subs. We're doing second team.
Well,
I'm
then
I'm having
how can I
Harbaugh say
get?
second team. You're
But
in. That
yeah,
that's
but
what I need
okay.
the
So
info
how do
from.
I get a fair look if I say Cade starts because he's probably going to start? If I'm JJ, how do I get a fair shake when the best wide receivers we have are not on the field?
Look, make do,
I mean, if all right,
and that's how much
you're
better.
not being
That's how
reasonable
much.
right now. You're
No,
not
I'm
being
not
reasonable
being
right now.
reasonable because I'm sick of this. I'm sick of this
That's fine. Well,
competition,
okay, if
this
that's the
middle
case, then
gray area. We're
give
gonna
me
figure out who
quarters.
the starting quarterback is going to be. I'm
Give
tired of it.
me
I'm tired
Cade
of
can
this.
start quarter one. JJ can
I'm
play
fine with
second
that.
quarter.
I love Cade. Look, Cade deserves to have the starting job. He's done nothing wrong. The kid's done nothing wrong. He's only been a professional. He's won. He has a huge leg up, I believe, and deservedly so. But it's always gonna be like this little gnawing JJ thing until it all shakes out. So let's figure it out and be done with it.
I mean,
I know I
yeah,
took
it's
it left, but that's right. That I'm just
well,
we need
that's
to figure.
fine. I mean, I get your sentiment. Like, we need to figure this thing out, and the difficult part is, like you said, are the most decorated quarterback, is probably the one who's not the most talented. So it's difficult, and you can't really point to anything that he's done wrong. But I think, unfortunately, the scope of college football and where it's at is eventually especially when it comes to these special kids, and I will put JJ into that category until he shows me something different that I'm wrong. When it comes to those special guys, it's only a matter of time. You basically have a year, maybe, to play with until those guys are on the field. Like, you don't get to have another year of splitting time with them. Like, even Quinn Ewers. I mean, he is just got on. I mean, he transferred from obviously Ohio State and at Texas, and I'm pretty sure he's going to start there. And Hudson Card is a kid who played for that team, played for Sark last year, and I'm pretty sure day one it's going to be Quinn Ewers who's the QB1 there. So when it comes to the special kids, you don't get a chance, and this is special in a good way. You don't get it. You don't get time to, this isn't what college football was 10 years ago of, unless a guy's a junior or senior, he's not playing. Those days are gone.
Yeah.
The
Well,
great
speaking of which,
example,
you were.
obviously, is
Go
Clemson
ahead, Mark.
and Dabo Sweeney in 2018,
Mm-hmm.
because in 2017, Clemson did almost exactly what Michigan did. They won the conference,
Yep.
went to the playoffs, couldn't score, had Kelly Bryant at quarterback. And then they get into the 2018 season. Dabo knows he's got a special team. He knows he's got a special quarterback. Kelly Bryant didn't do anything wrong. They didn't lose any games. But Dabo still said, I've seen enough. Changing, and they're 15-0 a couple months later, and they're the national champs.
And I would even argue Dabo actually did, even though it was a tough decision, I would argue that he did Kelly Bryant a solid by making the change when he did, because he was able to keep a redshirt year. So Kelly Bryant was able to redshirt due to that. It was like the 4-game rule, something like that. So he was able to have another year of eligibility afterwards. I think he went to Missouri, and it didn't really work out. But you know, I mean, that's the scope of college football. That is it.
I went to Mizzou. I was rewatching, and guys, so you have a little bit of background. I actually text this picture I was watching. By the way, my new favorite thing in the off season to do is rewatch games that are available on YouTube that have the sky cam. I love it. It's an awesome view. You get to literally see inside the front seven. Anyway, so I rewatched the 2017 Clemson versus Bama game, and I'm like, man, Kelly Bryant really was like, he had tools, man. It just why end up go to Mizzou? And I would, Mark, maybe you know some background to that. I just never understood that move.
What's wrong with Mizzou?
Let me check my notes.
Like, where was he going to go? Where was he going to go? Going to go
who wouldn't have
Wayne
wanted
Haskins or something? Like, where was he going to go?
Well, I would think Mizzou number one is
taking him at Michigan.
He'd be playing it. Yeah, he'd be playing in the SEC. I mean, you know, if you want to play good competition.
Chase Daniel played there. Blake Gabbert. They were then playing in the NFL. This is a good program.
Ooh, my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, he could have went somewhere else, and even, I mean, to a lesser degree, the Tua Jalen Hurts thing as well. I mean, Tua came in the national championship his freshman year, and then, you know, they did a little bit of split in time his sophomore year, and then that was it. So that's just where we are. So if it does happen, then great. But I mean, for me, I feel like I'm trending towards my broken record of last year of, you know, I'd love them to throw the ball in the first couple games. So I guess, Dre, I say that to say it may not matter anyway. We may not see a quarterback throw the ball that much in the first 3 to 4 games, regardless of how much time they get, any of that. I mean, that's the truth. We have to get ready for this. We have to mentally be ready for that, because that's probably the case.
Fortunately,
it's going to be a challenge just to
be the ones doing post game for those games.
Oh my God, Mark! I'm going to be so ready for the post game after like the first quarter. Like these games going to be the first 2 games, Connecticut and Hawaii.
Do a watch party.
There you go. Oh my gosh! Like
literally, I don't care. You don't need my permission. You can jump on in the third quarter and say, you know, this wrapped up. Let's talk about.
It's 62-3. Third with 7:50 to go in the third quarter. Okay, I think we can start now. Like this is, but you know, look, and that's a whole nother topic. You know, like I think that is terrible. You know, and it's not fun for us as fans. You know, and especially season ticket holders. You know, I think that, you know, people who either do legacy or who are new season ticket holders from Michigan, you know, like they deserve, for the money they spend, they deserve to go see at least semi-competitive games, especially at a time of the year when the weather's really nice. You know, you get to really enjoy your tailgate. You go to a game, you know, and I don't know, like you don't want to see Michigan lose, but you I don't know. I would think, you know, you want to see a competitive football game, you know, like and
I think it's a tough spot because you don't want to purposely make it a competitive game. Like if you can win 50-0, yeah, I absolutely want to do that every single game, and I'm sure the fans would love that too. Yeah, having the exciting games and the Penn State game that came down to, you know, one of the last few drives. But I mean, I don't know. It's difficult, and there's coaches that would say, well, you know, if you want to throw the ball just to throw the ball and be exciting, that's how you lose games. Like I understand that thought process, but I mean, I don't know. I'm just trying to get myself ready for what is coming in the first 3 weeks.
Says the guy who's a fan of a program who plays 1AA teams in the middle of the season, and won't travel up north.
I thought you were going another direction.